ask me to elaborate any further than that.
No, I won't.
Good.
Okay.
Is there a book?
The book. What about it?
Oh, come on, man. You got to burn a charge.
Well,
got better
I don't
magic
know.
than
I mean, it looks like you could easily open it if you wanted to, but if you want to do other things first, that's totally on you.
I open the book. What's in it?
Words in English. Since you're opening the book, Chris, in your best reading voice for the studio audience, please read this.
Eat a dick. Oh, are you kidding me?
Now, if I was kidding, I just said something like, a horse walks into the bar. And the bartender says, hey, why the long face?
A summation of the diary by supposedly written by Janice. Reading this shows that she was a very private person who may not be telling everything or is unwilling to admit certain things, even to herself. After Janice was abandoned by her mother Mildred and by Mildred's friends in Amber, she was looked after for a short time by Mel. You're such a bitter bitch. Mel disappeared from Amber, whether off on her own errands or by foul play is unknown. Janice suspects that several of the Amberites, who she thinks are shitty people, at best of times, had Mel killed, but she doesn't know why. Janice became pregnant in Amber, whether through abuse, rape, or love is not hinted. The father did not know she was pregnant when she left, but she was very young. It is hinted that her father is a Lord of Amber. It seems that she may have been either seduced in a moment of weakness or even had some sort of mind-influencing magic used upon her. It's not clear from the text. What she makes very clear is that after a one-night stand, she was dumped and not even acknowledged. Feeling very angry, she went to a place called Skegland. This place has repulsor walks and other sciencey stuff. The time within the shadow seems to also move freakishly fast compared to the time in Amber. She had a child, which she named Jator, and raised him in Skegland. He grew up always knowing he was of Amber, but not knowing who his father was. And the tradition of her mother's, Janice did not speak much of his father to much of his father to Jator. Jator joined the military despite his Janice's wishes. This again led her into a cycle of depression as she felt that he too abandoned her. Janice's one consolation is that the military might make Jator strong enough to deal with those in Amber. Whether she meant to stand up or to slaughter isn't apparent, and from her tone, she seems to vacillate between missing her unnamed brief lover and wanting to kill him and all his relatives. Skegland went to war with Vardabard. Jator was sent off with his unit and went through many military campaigns. He rose to the ranks and got jobs and citations, many of which he was not allowed to speak of. Janice knew only that he was in some sort of elite unit. Eventually, his unit found themselves in a brutal fight, and Jator became the unit's sole survivor. There was a dark cloud over his discharge, as the military did not know whether this person was a heroic survivor, someone who had betrayed the entire unit, coward, or lucky. The war and slaughter caused something to snap inside of him and changed him for the worse. He returned home for a brief time in which Janice alternately ignored, berated, and mercilessly mothered him. He left, again casting her into a dark depression. As a civilian, Jator met someone who was in Skegland, who in turn introduced him to a man named Trevor. Trevor ended up giving Jator some sort of job. The last time she saw Jator, he seemed to have adopted the colors of purple, green, and white. Since everyone seems to have left her, Janice formulated a plan to work on keeping her parents, who she seems to both love and hate, safe, though she fails to elaborate on the plan.
Big card, Chris. Nice reading.
I have a trump of that Trevor guy.
assuming it's the same Trevor guy, yes.
Yeah, well, you're right. That's purple, green, and white. Is that the same blazon that was on that shield with the deer? Not the same colors.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, but those colors do sound very freakishly familiar.
Memory rolls?
Now it's again, you have to figure it out yourself because believe me, it's been hit and hit and hit.
Oh, we should just call this episode Dar.
Hey,
No, unfortunately, with my move, I don't know where my notes are right now. I'm been looking through my stuff. It does sound like the colors of one of the houses.
Yeah.
Chaos.
Well, if you're saying, hey, are those colors the colors of one of the houses of chaos, I would give you a luck roll, or not luck, sorry, memory roll on that. If you know if you can name at least one other chaos house's colors, then I'd say you know enough to get a memory roll to see if those colors are.
Orange and red.
What?
Orange and red.
Whose house is that?
Blaze.
He's not a chaos house.
Okay.
He's a dickhead and needs to get slapped in the face. I failed.
Everybody looks over at fucking Holmes as he's going through just this fucking huge book, and he's just glaring at you guys, going through this fucking huge book, page by page.
I'm just trying to. I know how to.
Oh yeah, computerized notes for the win. I'm not saying you have to take notes. I'm just saying it's a little easier to take notes.
Yeah, unfortunately, I've only got House Halgrain mentioned, not the colors.
And that's exactly what I was looking for.
Cool.
To see if we did have their colors.
Well, they had a deer. I don't know if you've got that picture, but they had a deer on a shield.
What,
As their bla-
in this house, or oh, you're talking House Helgrain's deer?
Yeah. Because it mentions Trevor, so.
It did. You can give me a memory roll on that. Does those three colors match up with Helgrain? No, it does not match up with Helgrain. You're pretty sure of that.
Right.
Plus, you're thinking house colors may be different from individual colors because it's not confusing enough to just have like everybody from the house wear the same colors. Now, in addition to the house colors, you also have the individual
Purple,
colors.
green, and white.
Yeah, when you guys figure it out, you'll be like, yeah, we should have known that. Yeah, and then you'll just look bitter for a while. That's how everybody else did it. Let's see. Oh, since you made your memory roll at half there, Russ, House Helgrain, if you'd like to make a note of it, is black and silver. Black and
Right.
silver. Enjoy your notes. Be good to your notes, and they'll be good to you. Or if you have sex with your notes, they'll have sex with you. I don't know.
You'll get paper cuts.
But you'll be nice and clean.
Cool. This is going to be more interesting than I thought. I thought you guys would just breeze through this shit. So, right. Anything else you want to do in here, or move on to the next room and take a look? It doesn't look like you're encountering any resistance thus far. It does not look like there's any exits from the study other than going back to the living room, drawing room, which had multiple exits out.
Bedrooms.
You guys head over to the bedrooms. The bedrooms have a couple interesting things. First, they all have bathrooms that have this. It's next to a red swing line stapler. Also, in 3 different bedrooms, you guys find 3 different rings. Here are what the rings look like. And here's an example of a bed from the bedrooms in case you've never seen a bed. Also, the bedrooms have closets and such. And in addition to men's clothing, women's clothing, they also have clothing from the the very popular TV show Handy, which you can see there, some of the rented shirts that they have from the show. You remember the red shirts?
Clothes.
Pardon?
The poem did mention women's clothes.
There are plenty of women's clothes here if you're wanting some.
Want to play dress up?
I want to perceive high magic on the rings. There's no magic on these.
Cool.
I put on the flower ring because I'm cool like that.
Flower ring. Let's see here. Okay. You've got the flower ring on. Doesn't feel right.
Oh. I put the fairy ring on.
Yeah. Oopla!
All right, I'll try the flower ring.
Okay. Feels good. Everybody looks.
Must mean this other ring's yours, Russ. Jacob.
The Montezuma.
It's supposed to be a skull ring, but yeah, sure.
All right, so I put on the Montezuma ring.
Okay. Yeah.
Feels right?
Yeah.
Kind of correspond. Does it correspond with the cloaks then? You know, like you got that evil ring, so you got the black cloak on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it could be.
Why the fuck are you a fairy, you think, looking at your gray robes and the fairy ring?
Good, neutral, and evil. Yeah. I guess the fairy is neutral.
There's no other exits other than the bathrooms off of the bedrooms. If you want to go back to the living room / drawing room, you can go into the billiard room from there. You do so at Chris's direction. And in the billiard room, in addition to pool tables, you find a couple of different things. In the middle of the pool table is a big fucking symbol that looks like this. And also as like one of the objects d'art, you know how they always have shit on like little plinths and stuff like that, is a stone that is carved like this. Whoa. From this room, it goes into 2 different rooms, either the games room or the trophy room.
So the the symbol of the circle and the 2, well, sort of like the music symbol or the thing you see carved into instruments or whatever. That one, pretty sure we received that one on a piece of human skin from the female that was controlling the Harlequins.
Right.
If memory serves.
Pete, take a card for being the only person who has a notebook with them. I want to encourage that sort of behavior.
See?
Yeah, there you go. You know, I'll know that this game is definitely fucking struck a chord when Pete fucking hires a secretary to come in part-time to transcribe his shit on the computer. I can just see her losing sanity, her or him losing sanity slowly as they're continuing to transcribe it, not knowing if this is reality or something else. It's like, he killed so many people.
Yeah. I don't know much about Janice, but would you guys consider her a rival?
A rival.
Yeah, because learn another's history, diminish your rival, learn another's history.
Now, see, Logan, we need to hire a stenographer so they can
Yes.
just like, I mean, like, can you read back 5 lines ago? What was that?
Yes.
That'd be helpful as well.
Well, Freddy sort of is that.
When he can be bothered.
When he can be bothered, yes.
Yeah. Anyway, moving you guys through the house, because, you know, if nothing else, you take a look around. It doesn't look like anything's preventing you from going back to other places as well.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to continue your room by room?
Yep.
Just so
I'd like to grab some women's clothing first and
All
dress.
right. You've been looking for a new excuse to dress in women's clothing. By God, you finally found one. You dress in women's clothing. You feel right. It all feels right. In a very naughty sort of way. Chris, which room would you like to go and explore next? The trophy room or the games room?
We'll go to the games room first.
You guys go into the games room. It's a really nice room. It's got some interesting shit in there. Yup. A little bit of description. It's a large room. On one of the tables, they have like a large battle set with various miniatures. There's a tape measure on the table, a very old-fashioned one that you can see a picture of there. And it's got like a red mark across run numbers, like if somebody's to take like a red Sharpie and go bip and put it on the numbers. And then it's also got looks like some sort of statue with other little statues of guys in robes around it. A lot of comfortable chairs and stuff. This looks like just a really nice room.
Looks like Great Cthulhu to me.
Yes, take a card. It is Great Cthulhu, surrounded by his adoring cultists.
Sorry, is that statue of Great Cthulhu on the wallboard, or is that?
It's one of the objects d'art as opposed to the warboard. It would be more alarming if it was the warboard and would fill you with a sense of
What I was
dread.
curious about.
Yeah, the
So
warboard
what is on
itself.
Yeah.
It seems to be humans versus insects.
Do they look like beetles?
All kinds of different insects.
Oh, look at the cousin of the Mygo here. And this is the beetles that are in space. And
I'm thinking it's more what's happening with Melwicks, etc. at the moment.
Yes,
With the
yes,
ISO
that
trucks.
could be, yes. Wow, there's a
going on
lot
with
of insects.
oh, what?
The ISO trucks started invading that continent
Oh, okay.
and Westmead, etc. And they'd taken over whatever that port town is. Its name escapes me. But from a post from Glenn, it looks like maybe Melwicks itself is now under attack by the ISO trucks.
As Glenn had mentioned, everything becomes shittier over time, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Unless the brave and valiant, etc., etc. That leaves one room left close by. I will double check to see if there's... Actually, let me double check. I think you only have one other room that you haven't gone into. Yeah, you've only got one other room that you've not been in yet. Everything else other than that one other room has been thoroughly explored.
Well, we go there.
You go there. That is the trophy room. Don't get too excited before I tell you more about the pictures. Don't freak out or anything, okay? Oh, you're freaking out. I can tell, Chris. Stop it.
It's Vigo!
Is it of Vigo or is it of Freddy?
No, it looks like Vigo, but it's a life-size picture of him that looks really, really familiar. The cryotube itself looks to be made out of plastic. It's like one of the kind of things that you would buy and set up in your house if you said, look, I want a big space rendered totally unusable. Coffin size, a little bit bigger than a coffin. I don't want anybody to be able to actually utilize this space. We'll put a fake body in there and stuff. So it's a mock-up. It's not the real.
It's a prop.
Right.
Does it look like Zog from way back when?
Well, yeah. Take a card. Yeah. As much as a inanimate, like kind of crudely done mannequin thing can, yes.
Right. Okay.
Does
So
the Sleestack head have glowing eyes, and does it call out silence as we talk?
It also looks like a prop, like somebody made a plaster cast of a Sleestack skull. Chris, drink more coffee. Chug that shit. Maybe try some heroin. Why don't you try some heroin today, Chris? I want you to shoot up.
Heroin would definitely make me pass out.
Oh, well, do some. What's a good upper? Barbiturates.
Dexedrine.
Dexedrine? I don't even know.
Take some Dexies.
Okay, yeah. Do what your doctor says, Chris. Shoot Dexies between your toes. So, at this point, I can say you have all the information you need in order to solve this. Yeah.
So there's a H.P. Lovecraft book there?
Ignore whoever's name that is. Probably illusionary.
Is it just all the major symbols that we need probably for some reason thing? Once we leave, like we go to the door, we need to know where all the symbols are and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I assume it's got something to do with the poem that we were told at the beginning by the clam head, the clam deer.
Confession shall help pierce the mystery.
Confession.
Yes, it is true. This man has no dick. Wait, what?
Beware the men in blue and their watery attack. They seek to destroy evidence and set you back. Diminish your rival. Learn another's history. Well, to learn another's history we've done when we found the book.
Yeah, yes.
Diminish your rival. Potentially that was the blue goopy thing we've got in the Tupperware container. Confession shall help pierce the mystery. So, that's the churchy thing, I assume, confession. Pierce the mystery. Does it mean we do something in the center like a bullseye, or does it mean we actually have to kneel and give confession? Or this job must be by women done. Don petticoats, if not one. On the tines of 3 to can you dissect. Rebirth and power can there be checked.
Yeah. By the way, if there's anything that you've seen that you want to check out more closely, I haven't had anybody checking out anything more closely unless they've said, hey, this specific thing. In other words, you don't have to go through the walls every 10 feet, but for any kind of props and shit like that, I will quickly tell you if there's anything interesting.
Trident 3 could be Poseidon's trident.
Well, that would be the trident is often, exactly, the tines of 3.
That sentence doesn't parse.
No, it doesn't.
On the tines of 3, 2 can you dissect. Rebirth and power.
Can there be checked?
Well, let's go back to the Poseidon room and see if we can figure that out.
Yeah.
You guys troop on back and check out Poseidon. It looks like it's a slightly bigger than life statue. It looks like the kind of gaudy thing that certain cultures would want in their home. And yeah, it doesn't look like the trident comes out or anything like that. He's got a grip on it. It looks like it's a well carved statue, and the eyes definitely are memorable.
The eyes of the statue.
Yeah, but it's a bit. It's on the Poseidon scale. This one's a bit toward the creepy and evil side as opposed to the. Yeah. All right, he boops the eyes, and it doesn't do anything, but you do feel slightly better.
Of course I do. I booped eyes.
Mm-hmm. Although that's the second most satisfying boop you've ever done.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
I thought she was going to lose her goddamn mind.
Does anybody have any detect power, pattern, or chaos left? Because I'm thinking power and damage
Nope.
check.
By the way, as a quick side note, those are great extras. However, you got to remember the first group who successfully solved it was all the women. They had none of your guys' cool skills. So good luck.
Yeah, they didn't have any powers. So
it's up to you guys, because if you're the first
is
group
not-
to fail it, you should definitely hang your heads in shame. No pressure.
If so, I'll just blame it on Russ. That's all good.
Yeah, exactly.
That makes sense, I guess.
We could just blame it on Friday. He's not here.
That makes better sense. Take a card for that. Anything that you guys can find a way to blame on Freddy, it's usually worth a card.
Oh, effects of a dissolute lifestyle. Doesn't matter. Okay. I will stick it near the living room here.
What did you do with the book, by the way?
Stuffed in my backpack if I'm the one that read it.
No problem. It starts to disintegrate, and you can see pieces of it coming out of the backpack when you take it out of the study. It continues disintegrating.
Put it back. Put it back.
If we put it back, does it magically get better?
It stops disintegrating.
Oh, okay.
It's a slow, creepy disintegration. However, you can feel free to copy down the words and stuff if you'd like to add those to your notes. The lovely summation that Chris read off for you. But, everybody can give me a psychology roll if they want.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting.
Yes. McKay, you realize that somebody's written this book about you. Back when you were giving birth to people and stuff. Meanwhile, Fulton, you're thinking, well, do you know who the person that wrote the book is, right?
Yeah.
Like daughter, like mother, you're thinking.
Fucking nutbags. The one time we're getting someone into therapy and asking, so tell me about your mother, would not be a good idea.
No.
Ah!
Yeah. A lot of
That's
issues.
Armageddon.
A lot of issues.
Chanter's got an apostrophe in front of it, which makes it enchanter.
Take a card, Russ. Well done.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is the riddle. I think basically the core of this is solve the riddle.
Yes. Take another card, Russ, and feel better about yourself. And force the other two to your whims. And then blame Freddy if it goes horribly wrong. I like it.
We're
It's a great plan.
just going to blame Freddy anyway.
Right?
I'm going to give you a couple sessions to make sure this happens a year later. Look here, fuckface.
That's kind of how it works out, yes.
You missed out on the fun I had with him. So have you explored this area? Yep, we've fully explored it. All right then.
Oh,
So
that's
what do you think
fucking
of blood?
great.
Oh, we can look at that.
Yeah.
All right. Or what about blood? No, we didn't go in there either. All right. So when you said you fully explored,
And he was not repentant about it. He was like, yeah, it's fully explored. Pete was just like, well, just so you know, Pete, the Burlington Raiders, that small group within a group type thing, they have spent 3 episodes on Main Street.
Yeah.
3 entire play sessions, and they haven't run out of shit. Although on the 3rd session, they use like, I don't know, maybe half of it to just drive around the town to get an idea, and then they're going back to Main Street because they're not done. Mm-hmm. They are definitely taking their fucking time.
Anybody want an analyze device card?
May be useful for this situation.
Yeah.
If you're looking at discarding, I'll get rid of the damage flavor and take that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, just check the damage flavor there somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay, so all the rooms are of the past. There's nothing in our present here.
Well, some stuff could be potentially of the present, like the miniatures of the humans battling the insects. That could be what could be happening in Thingamabob at the moment.
Which room are you guys hanging out in, by the way?
We're in that place where the diary was.
Got it. Study. Okay. You guys have now graduated past the exploration phase into the thinking phase. This is where you must insist Chris drink 2 monsters, 3 cups of coffee, and watch his head explode.
Excellent. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Shall we go and check out the cryo chamber to see if there's a bit more to it?
There isn't.
Yep. All right. Because we hadn't actually opened it or anything, just to see if it was more to it than just a prop.
Yeah.
But it's not.
Just so I'm playing fair, any of the props, so to speak, those can be like, if there's a bookshelf full of books and I say there's nothing there, you're fine with that. But if I mention a prop, which I've done on several, and you guys don't pick it up or look at it, then there could be more there. You don't know.
Yeah, I go to the chapel and kneel before the great circle and say, I'm a Smurf fucker.
It appears to already know. Or at least you feel that in your heart. And given half a chance, you know you would do it again and again and again.
Yeah, got to work on that fellatio skill. Anyway.
But you're already kneeling. If there was a Smurf dick around, then, you know.
The blue hair is probably a miniature rival.
The Janus heads, does it have any writing or anything on the base?
No. It looks like just a very cool statue, and one of the very few Janus type statues I could find where both were either female or neutral.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. Logan is so giving us the, oh my God, you guys are so off the mark face. So.
If you can solve this and get the bonus scene within the allotted time, I will be just happy as shit.
I really think you guys should dress as women.
I dress as a woman.
You feel better about life, although in a kind of naughty sort of way, I guess.
No, actually, do my clothes change into women's clothes?
Do you have some magical ability I'm forgetting about to do that?
I have magic clothes that change to whatever is appropriate for.
You go, I want to dress as a woman, and his clothing goes, and you're like, okay, you are now dressed as a woman.
Like that.
Forgot all about that.
Yes, that look for. So that's what I was more so is.
As soon as you said it'd be more appropriate for me to be dressed as a woman, in this case, in this place, at this time, it just happens. It won't always happen like that, but
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Usually I don't have control over it, but I was curious about it. Yeah.
done.
Beautiful.
Well, yes, you are now. For those watching this at home and abroad, this is the part where the GM has to patiently wait as the players make the faces of what the fuck is going on? Why did we give Logan this much prep time? He has been making riddles and shit like that. What a cock.
The tape you said the tape had red marks on it?
You look at the tape measure, it has one red mark, but as you're looking at it, it seems to be moving on its own. It looks like it was drawn on with a Sharpie, but it's moving on its own somewhat erratically and somewhat randomly.
I moved a tape measure around the room to see if it changes how it moves. It's still completely erratic and random.
If it's got a pattern, you haven't figured it out. The Rock looks at it and goes, with my advanced math, and it begins with one finger.
Fibonacci sequence.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, since nobody actually knows what that is, he can claim that, and people will just believe him. Grab something real quick.
Yeah, we may actually be getting thrown by all our experience.
Yeah, exactly. We're probably overthinking it.
Mm-hmm. So we've definitely figured out the trident. What the hell does that mean? Power can be checked.
Well, time could also be the deer horns, the deer in the...
Are there three?
No.
I really think I nailed the trident.
Does it actually say 3? Oh, yeah, time 3. Yes, it does. Yeah, I will go with you then. Yes, I agree with you on that one. It's more likely the Poseidon trident.
And that's in the stanza with the job with the women.
Yeah.
So if there are 3 tasks, each one to a stanza.
Diminish arrival, learn another's history. Well, we've learnt the history of J-Tor, so diminished history. Well, it could be the fact of that he's as you learn about them, you get more knowledge.
Is there a confession in that diary?
Not that I could see.
Yeah. She's not telling everything.
Well, there's the fact that, the whole thing about her getting pregnant and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Does Skagland ring any kind of bell? Is that someplace you guys have been? It doesn't.
No.
Futuristic. Okay. I am going to touch one of the tines.
Okay. It feels pointy on the end. It doesn't do anything bad to you.
I cut the palm of my hand on.
Enough to
Is it
bleed? Enough to bleed?
Enough to bleed.
Pick 1 point of real damage? Cool. You want to smear some blood on it? Or on yourself? Or on Holmes? Sorry, McKay.
Yeah, it doesn't seem helpful.
I'm just wondering about the whole thing about on the tines of 3 to can you dissect? Rebirth and power there be checked.
Right, so we get reborn all the time. I was wondering if it would give us information about ourselves.
Allocate, assess, curtail. Well, allocate, we've been allocating the things between each of us.
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not that's what it's talking about or something else. Confession shall help.
Yeah, everybody.
Sorry?
Chris has a note, so we should wait for Chris to get back. Yin Yang.
Oh, okay. Yeah, wait for Chris to get back. See if he wants to know if it or not.
All right, we are now in a holding pattern. Let's just think this out.
Yes.
I'm going to put on my magic glasses and burn 1,000,000 charges.
What are you looking at as you burn your charges?
The trident, especially the one with the blood on it, the point with the blood on it. No. Yes. What do we got?
No.
No magic?
No. Or if there is, then it's not the kind you can find with your glasses.
Right.
Also, give me shadow lore rolls.
Yay, I'm really not good at that. At half. Fuck you.
You realize it just did that because you said you weren't good at it.
Yeah.
You're thinking, Russ, that it could be a powerful magic, but it might not be petty magic. It might not be high magic. There could be other kinds of magic. There could be hundreds of other kinds of magic, which you don't have the skills, ability, or tools to discern.
Right. So blind fire is all we got with that.
Yep. Excuse me.
Barbiturates. No, wait. Would you like some lovely lemon tea, Pete?
When people get tired, why the fuck are you doing that?
I don't know, because I don't know any uppers. It's all downers.
Crystal meth, dude.
Oh.
You know that. Blue crystal meth for me.
Good point.
I'm wondering if we just drape the blue spaghetti goop over the trident tines. But I shall wait for Dr. Fulton to get back to.
Yeah, I want to wait for Chris before we start.
I was going to say, you didn't spend 8 years in evil medical school to be called Mister.
Yeah.
Well, actually, if he advanced beyond a doctor, he would become a Mister, because the specialists are actually known as Mister, not Doctor.
Is that an Australian thing?
No, that's a medical thing.
What?
I've
never heard of that.
Haven't you?
No.
If you look up someone who's actually a proper full-on specialist, they'll often be referred to as Mister, because that's actually a. I'm not sure how it works, but yeah.
Not in the States. So we're not only in the make your brain smoke phase, but we're also in the experimentation phase, just to...
Yeah, so...
But I do want to wait for Doc to get back before we start doing any more experimentation.
The tradition of addressing surgeons as Mr. rather than Doctor is firmly entrenched in English medical practice, surgical practice.
Those
Origin
fucking Englanders.
1500s.
Freaking Europeans.
Yeah. I was gonna say in America we always call them doctor because otherwise they choke you out.
The title of Mr. was seen as a label of status and marked the completion of formal examinations acceptance as a college fellow.
Logan, when I discard down, I do have to discard down to 4 with the yin yang, and then play the yin yang, or is it just to play immediately and I can have 4 in my hand?
It's a play immediately, but wait until he gets back because he may nope it, and then you discard down to your cards or whatever.
Yeah, I'm just asking if it replaces, when I discard down, and I'm discarding down right now, if it replaces one of the cards in my hand, is it a 4th card or is it a like out of the card cycle card?
I'd call it out of the card cycle card. You're getting fucked enough. You're getting fucked hard enough.
Okay. Allocate, assess, curtail. Curtail, we've got shears.
Mm-hmm.
You want to cut the hair?
Whose hair?
Hmm?
Whose hair?
The blue hair.
Yes, it could be for that as well.
Shall cause the chanter to be well. We thought maybe it was a Horcrux, right?
Maybe. Little time do you have finished us? Allocate. The thing about the trident, though, on the times of 3 to can you dissect, rebirth, and power can there be checked?
Yeah, check can be to look. Check can be to look at something, or it can also be to stop something.
That's right.
I would like to point out how challenging this mod was for Yana, who English is not her first fucking language.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
She did get help from there, so that was a good thing.
Confession shall pierce the mystery. All right, so the trident is fixed, wasn't it? It couldn't be removed from Poseidon's hand?
Correct.
All right. So we can't, yeah, all right. I was starting to wonder whether or not we take the trident and we go stick it in the middle of the circle.
Yeah, yeah. Dissect.
I thought you were going to stick it in a backpack or something.
No, because it's saying about confessions shall help pierce the mystery. Confession is normally done in a church or something. The only thing we've got close to a church is using the circle.
Dissect the bobcat on the tines.
I was wondering about the bobcat because of the whole tail thing, curtail.
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not that was just a thing, but beware the men in blue and their watery attack. They seek to destroy evidence and set you back. That doesn't make sense from what we've encountered. So I'm just trying to work out how that works.
I'm sorry, which sentence were you reading again?
The first 2 lines.
Watery attack, they seek to destroy evidence and set you back. Okay.
Because from what we could see, the books appear to be garbage. Just joke books.
Right. No, they could have been told to clean the whole place out.
Could have been.
Started someplace stupid.
Yeah, no, started there. Could be. If we had left them alone, they would have worked down the corridor, etc. So, yeah.
So I cut my hand on the time, Chris, because the times of 3, 2 can you dissect. I don't know if we should all do that or what.
He's just sitting there bleeding. Oh, by the way, quickly on the card play.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I got a yin yang. You want to nope it?
Well, if you don't nope it, then the nope's going to go away from the yin yang, so there's not much we can do about it, is there? Do
right,
we have...
so I nope it.
Yeah, do we have a retrieve? Limited retrieve to pull it back. I've got to downgrade.
No.
Yeah, I've got to go down. Cards, I'll get rid of an opponent fails and a D6 damage. So we were thinking there's it says like on the tines of 3 you can dissect. So we're wondering whether or not we put the spaghetti monster on that. Also there's what was the other thing? What was the other bit you're thinking Russ may have been?
Dissect?
Oh, dissect, yeah.
Okay.
No. The shears, were about using the shears on...
Shears, curtail is to cut, can be to cut. So allocate, assess, curtail, we might need to trim the hair with the shears we found.
Yeah, so that was the other potential.
Any thoughts, Chris?
Can you copy and paste the initial thing?
Oh, yeah, sure.
I thought I saved it and I did not.
Logan, you've probably got that at hand, right?
Uh-huh.
Put it up again.
Okay.
Because I got it in my notes.
There it is.
Ooh.
Thank you.
And the stanzas are broken up by the line that says beware. Next stanza starts with this job. Final stanza begins with allocate, assess. If those meant anything when Logan pasted it.
True. There was 3 parts to it. So yes, but not it being broken into 3 parts makes any difference or not.
Considering how little poetry I actually read, I have been forced to come up with a lot of fucking riddle poetry for this goddamn game.
Yeah, it's all in couples.
This is not the first long ass stanza.
Double lines. The stanzas could be each couplet. Guess who learned how to analyze poetry in college, kids? Probably totally not helpful. I'm probably just spinning my wheels. Let's see. Where the men of blue in their watery attack, they seek to destroy them. Diminish your rival, learn them. Actually, yeah, it might be stanza by couplet.
I gave you a card for getting a cup of coffee, Chris.
Let's split these up by couplet.
And let's get rid of assistant plus D6 damage, I think. Really not sure if that's going to be useful in our current predicament.
Yeah, you've literally investigated the entire house, not necessarily all the stuff in it, but the entire house. There is nothing left to kill you. You guys killed the first shit so fast that my whole series of hit and run things that I was thinking about, gone. I mean, they weren't that tough, but I thought there'd be at least a little hit and run action. Wrong. I was wrong on that.
Well, there was, except the ones doing the hitting and running were us.
Yeah, well, you didn't do the running part. You did the hitting part. You forgot the rest. You were like, ha. You all died. What do you do now?
No, we did it in reverse. We did the run and hit.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right. Correct. Sprint.
Okay.
Yeah. We're getting
and-
done.
Yeah.
Getting done.
I mean, watching Pete literally sever the spinal cord of one guy, and you cut a different guy in half with a lightsaber, and then Russ finish off his guy with a two-handed big smash weapon. You know, you've gotten your violence on for the day.
Yeah, no more combat here.
Yeah, apparently not. No, it's all about thinking now.
One additional thing we have learnt is that measuring tape in the games room,
Mm.
red mark on it, it's only got one red mark, and that red mark moves. It seems to be random from what we could tell. We couldn't see any rhyme or reason to the movement of the red mark, but yes, it moves about.
Yeah, and this trident, it says rebirth and power can there be checked. So if you have any detect power left, that's a once a day thing, right? Detect power pattern.
Yeah. However, I don't know if that's going to help us.
Yeah.
As in, I don't think it's not necessary to solve this, I should say.
Like, what else did you want to detect pattern power on?
I
The
just mean,
trident. The trident. Oh, do we know anybody who keeps coming back?
well, like the Joker.
Joker?
Yeah, he keeps
Is
coming
it
back.
pattern the trident?
No. Although, Russ, tell them the thing that you learned with your amazing knowledge of things that you normally suck at, which proved you wrong just in order to foil you from saying that. Mm-hmm.
You can't remember, can you?
Perfect.
Can I do a memory check?
No, I win. Maybe if you're really nice, then fucking McKay will tell you. Otherwise, you're just fucked.
I'm assuming you blabbed me on what you determined at the time. So basically, that besides, I mean, we know magic from the thing like your power.
Yeah, right. Green man in the gallery.
Sorry.
There's a green man in the gallery.
Oh.
Yes.
In the minstrel's gallery.
Yes.
There's a bas relief of a green man.
Sorry. What about it?
I blotted it. That's all. That's the only amazing thing I can think of that.
No. It's got nothing to do with that.
Okay. What's it got to do with them?
That there's other magics.
Oh,
Basically.
yeah, right.
That
Oh, right. Yeah, there's other magics. Okay. Yeah, that would be it.
You have a
Besides
memory
high
like
magic.
Logan's. Now you must suffer.
Besides high magic, besides low magic, besides the pattern of logarithms, there may be other magics out there in the multiverse, and that's why the glasses don't detect it and the patterns don't detect it, because it could be of a different type of magic to what
Right.
we're familiar.
So we could be dealing with.
Confession shall help piece.
Right. We're not going to be able to detect. I did the glasses. We couldn't detect it with the glasses, and I Shadow Lord. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Pete.
No worries. It was some insight into Shadow Law that you had.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm just kind of spitballing right now, so
Yeah.
I'm not writing down what I'm discovering very much until something seems remarkable.
Just because I don't think I've ever done it, I'm going to get one of the violins and I'm going to play it in the minstrel gallery.
Would you guys like to join him or no?
Absolutely.
Sure.
All right, you guys all go up into the minstrel gallery, or okay, sure.
Go get the instrument and go up into the minstrel gallery,
Well,
because that's where
there's you get one. Okay, you take the violin and you go up into the minstrel gallery. They follow you up into the minstrel gallery.
I'll grab the lyre and
Russ, would
What
you
was
like
the
to
other-
attempt to lug a giant piano up there? Would you like to attempt to lug a giant piano up there?
Maybe we should just do this in the music room.
No, the minstrel gallery is where they played the instruments when people were dining.
Right.
He looks at the piano. He looks at the small ass minstrel gallery. He's like, I don't think so.
The pattern power summon piano movers.
No. You don't worry. You don't need to play an instrument to be with us up there if you don't want to. You can be observing while we play the instruments.
Okay.
Cool.
to
All
see.
right.
Guitar skill. Can I pizzicato? Can I pizzicato something like a guitar on the violin?
Well, somebody's busy grasping the violin and preparing to play it. It may be awkward for them.
Oh, I
There was
thought
more violin. There was 3 of them you showed us.
Oh, sorry. That's the same violin, different angles.
Oh, okay.
One violin, one lyre, one piano.
Do you play often?
Me,
Yes.
I can do it for a living.
Oh, well, okay.
And everything seems to be split apart into good, neutral, evil. The rings.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The violin was skull.
I know. However, I play
You can
violin.
play it. I know. That's why I was looking for one for you.
Yeah. Well, let's see what happens. I'll try and play it and see if it works or whatever. I mean, we'll try in the music room as well because there's 3 instruments and there's 3 of us to see if anything happens. But I thought I'm curious to play an instrument in the minstrel gallery.
So who's hiking up into the minstrel gallery with you? And
I'll go too.
Are you taking
the
the
lyre.
lyre?
Yes.
Would you like to attempt to play the lyre along to accompany him on his violin playing?
Yeah.
All right. I would like a play lyre and a play violin roll. Russ.
I fumble.
Got it.
I want them to sing.
I'm going to, because I want to actually succeed at this. I'm going to
Let's
spend a
see.
hero point.
I'm going to pull a fumble card for you, Chris, because it could be
Don't
important.
think different to this, but why not for the fun?
Chris.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of Burskers? Well, you give all of your money to Pete, who badly plays the violin.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good enough. And right, Pete, you failed?
Yes.
Cool.
Want to switch?
Sure, why not?
Cool.
Violin.
Did you want to try one of them?
Can you bring up the pictures of the instruments again?
Yeah.
I'll play an assistant 10 on you.
I can also, I'm actually not too bad at Tibetan.
Nope.
What's that stupid instrument I learnt? Tibetan bowl music. I've been slowly developing an ability to play. I really can't recall why I picked that skill up, but
Working on Russ.